Okay, we're going to reconvene the budget meeting. So Amber, I have all handwritten notes. Did Shelby enter all this stuff? Should we go through it?
She did, yeah, I don't.
She's usually pretty good about that.
Yeah, no,
I think she was doing it while we were.
I think
Yeah,
that's
she and I
exactly it.
compared and we had the same percentage, so
And we're still at,
3.9.
3.9%.
oh, we're at 3.9.
Yes, but we can go over why that's changed just a little bit.
Okay,
So I don't know if you want to go through like.
let's go through like
all the
what you and I
changes.
did with that. Yeah, what we
Okay.
changed just to make sure everybody's on the same page. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, so we'll start with page 1, town board. We added 4,000 to print and advertising, but we took it from Association of Towns. We just swapped it. We made print and advertising 9,000.
Yeah.
And we made Association of Towns 5,000.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yep, got that.
okay. The next one is Justice Court. We added 2,000 for Association of Towns.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay,
All right, we added 2K for that.
the next is this one we have to discuss. Tax receiver. Anne Marie made a proposal originally for a 10% increase. I kept it at 2%. She came back and said she would like 6%. I'm gonna stick to my 2%. It's up to you guys. You know, what we want to do.
I say do that for now. I know that.
Yeah, I think there are
some
too many.
Hourly information was, like, have the hours increased over the years? Barbara was going to be getting that
Okay,
to reconcile with the retirement stuff, so.
So at the state of what's going on there too, I think it's important that we probably stay there, but these numbers are going to be reconfigured
right,
perhaps
okay.
unless.
So
things-
we're going with my tentative 2% increase.
Yes.
Okay,
just for now, yeah.
Yeah.
I would be open to revisiting.
Yeah.
that if
like I said, when Amber gets,
Right.
when we get the
Mhm.
documentation on
Yeah.
hours and.
Yeah.
Okay, on page 3, we just had a correction to change Kim Riley, my math was wrong, 48. Is that 552?
Yes.
Okay. Mhm.
So your 48,018,24 is
Becomes 48,552.
545.12. If that's the number, the first number you want?
No, the actual number is 48,552.
552, okay.
All right,
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just double checking.
okay. The next is if we go to page 5. We're taking $2,500 from the tree line and just moving it down to the non-highway tree maintenance line. It's
And what are you on?
page 5.
Okay.
It's number 1490.415. We're taking $2,500 that we usually use to buy trees
Going to,
and we're putting it to
Maintenance.
tree maintenance.
Right.
Right. And Amber, I have and we also adjusted 1490.200 Public Works equipment. I had 25,213, but we're going with Brian's proposal of 12,500.
Yes.
Okay, on page 6, IT committee computer equipment, we're going from my 26,000 to the department proposed 27,000.
correct.
Okay, page 7. Police, maintenance, car, boat, radio. Again, this has to do with the waterways funds, but Amber, you want to explain that? I wish,
Yes, let me just, and Shelby.
or is the money still the same? We just want to show that we're spending it and using it.
Yeah, which page are you on?
Page 7,
Page 7, okay. Yeah, so
right
what,
in the middle, maintenance, car, boat, radio.
yeah, so what ends up happening is I can do a screen share. It's on the cover sheet. So we put the expenses into the budget because we want to show that this is what we're planning on expending. And then what ends up coming out, and actually my spreadsheet doesn't have it correctly reflected, and I don't have Shelby's handy,
Okay,
but
just explain.
yeah, so what ends up happening is it's easier to do this. We will make sure, I don't know if you can see the screen, or if I need to tilt it towards you guys.
No, that's good.
We will make sure that the appropriations reflects the full amount. And then when we transfer from other funds,
Right.
we'll do the subtraction there that
Right.
it's coming from.
So it's not going to
Waterways.
affect the change.
No.
Okay,
no. So
what are
it's
they
an
about
in
to
and
raise by
out there,
taxes?
but that way it's perfectly clear.
Right,
Like right now, we've got the 10,000 for the, historically for the Bay Constable.
right.
Was in my spreadsheet.
Mhm.
So I'll double check.
So
Shelby's
we want to
spreadsheet.
make sure that we're showing that we're still doing the maintenance for the boat
Okay,
in this budget line, but
Yep.
where it's coming from is different.
okay.
Okay, next is page 10, the EMS. We had this discussion with Jack. Jack and I proposed $125,000 for the advanced life support coverage. I think after his presentation, we feel more comfortable putting that up to 132,000.
Right.
Mhm.
On page 11, medical center, we have to add a line for the medical director. The town signed an agreement with Dr. Potter. That's $2,000.
What's the account number on
I
that?
don't know if, what are you gonna,
It's going to be on that page, Shelby.
would it be like professional services or?
Yes, it'll be down in the 400s. I don't know exactly what code she
Okay.
gave it to it, but it's gonna be 4560.4 something. And she looked up,
Resolution.
yeah, from the comptroller's office.
Right.
Their chart of accounts.
Okay.
So she signed it based upon. the
So that's
correct-
a 24,
So it's a,
24,000?
no.
No, 2,000.
2,000.
2,000. Yeah, just 2,000,
So
please.
it's not 2,000 a month, huh?
No, no,
No,
no,
no,
no,
no,
no.
no, no.
I'm sure he'd like that, but
Sure, sure.
not
you
in our
would.
budget.
You didn't hear that, Dr. Potter.
No one tell
Okay, next is page 13, Silver Circle. This is something that traditionally has been under budgeted, and we just move money at the end. So rather than keep doing that, we're going to put it to where it should be. It's the last aid on the page, Donna King, going from, the department proposed 7,049. I did what we had last year, so we're going with the 7,049 because we've been running short in that department. Okay. Just refresh me on, I have a note here. Oh, that must be what we spent. I'm looking at page 15, recreation. I know we were over in beach and lifeguards this year. And I wrote down the gross, but I didn't do any changes, so,
No, and Bethany thought that she could hold it to the
Okay.
44,000 in
Thank you.
2022.
okay. And then we go to page 17, landfill. We have down concrete purchased in 8160.438. Brian had proposed 25,000. I went with what we had last year, but going over what we're buying and what we're selling, we felt we should bring that up to 18,000.
Mhm.
And the next one, a couple lines down, 8160.442, purchase of bags. Again, look, going at what we're projecting with the cost of bags are going up and what we've been doing for a while. We had a surge on people weighing in when we had a lot of people that cope with, here for COVID, but it looks like it's going back to normal. So we're going to raise the purchase of bags to $2,500 to $16,500.
Mhm.
Then the next one down a little bit further is 8160.484 office and miscellaneous. Again, I had put in a little less than we modified the budget for, but Brian felt we can go back to
6,500.
6,500, yeah. Okay, page 18, Taylor's Island. Jim had a question
Mhm.
on the shed, so we're still gonna find out about
I
that.
spoke to
Okay.
Pat this morning, and the exterior is almost done, but then there's some interior stuff that needs to be like,
Mhm.
flooring and landscaping around the shed and things like that. So that's why that 12,000 is in there.
Okay,
And the rest, you were talking about the chandelier
Yeah, so I mean,
situation, so you still have monies
Yes.
for.
yeah, if
for
it
both
isn't
those things.
completely used for the shed, then they'll do a transfer to Smith Cabin Repairs,
right.
because that was taken down to 1,400, but so
Okay,
it's valid.
yep. Okay, next is page 21. Town clerk revenues. And this goes to the actually, the waterways mooring fees do not add. I think we're going with the boat storage fees from 12,000 to 14,000. And we're going with the mooring fees from 17,250 to 22,125.
Right. So that's under that A 2050,
Yes,
and that's going to what, Jerry?
the top one, the mooring fees is going to 22,125. That's with a $25 increase across the board.
Yep.
And the boat storage fees is going to 14,000.
Even.
And that's just a projection. Looks like we should be able to pretty easily make conservative projections.
Okay.
And those numbers factor in when we start to talk about using money from the
Yes.
waterway. So,
Mhm. Mhm.
so they don't impact the tax rate on this side. It will help us. in the
Right.
other area.
Okay, on page 22, landfill revenues, the bottom, there's no number there. DEC hazmat reimbursement is zero because we don't know. So I just have a question mark. If we get it, we get it.
It's pending, yeah.
So we're not gonna assume we're gonna get it. Okay, next I have page 24. Police revenue.
Do we know when that, when we could receive information back on that hazmat?
Brian's trying to work with the state. Apparently, they're a couple of years behind,
Okay,
so it's not like we get it.
okay, within the next few weeks or something now. That's good.
How come he showed?
Yeah, it's,
Oh, that's a tape.
Oh,
I'm not
okay.
even on this.
Oh.
yeah. Wait, I've got the real.
Oh, okay.
That's the one.
Not that I'm paranoid.
No, the meeting, the meeting that I was looking at.
Okay, page 24, police revenue. The Perma Lexipol grant, we're bringing it down from $2,600 to $1,700. I guess that's a real number that the chief got for us.
Yes.
Page 25.
I don't have any notes. Yeah,
This was for the recreation. And
Oh.
Bethany had gotten back to us and said that if we reduced the fit fees for seniors
Yeah.
by whatever the,
right.
I can't remember what rate she said, but if we did 65 and plus got the reduced rate, it would cut that revenue line by $5,000. If we went with 75 plus, it would cut the revenues only by $4,515.
To be honest with you, I would prefer to keep, and I think she would too. I think the committee felt strongly that they were so much better than surrounding communities for what they get, so.
Can we maybe make or ask to make a presentation to the senior foundation? That if we find in fact that
Okay,
this fee is, keeping some of our seniors from joining, they might be able to help out.
yeah. I think if you did it on an individual basis like that, even the Lions Club might be interested in, something of that nature, but yeah.
Mhm.
Senior Foundation, I'm sure those are a couple possibilities.
Okay. So we're leaving that word.
Yes.
Okay.
But I will communicate, maybe we should pursue that, just ask around whether,
And let's find out from the seniors, how many people, we got the numbers on how many people join, but I think the real question is how many aren't joining because of that fee,
right.
Mhm.
Yeah. They don't have to pay that fee all at once, by the way, so that can be
Okay.
spread out,
Mhm.
there's a variety of ways of paying through that.
Okay, next, Amber, I have is page 31, the zoning board of appeals. Just check the deals, I think.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Before that, I try to do everything in red so it stand out.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, so we're gonna add, we added that's not a change. We added 1,000, originally, it's not an ad. I proposed and we're keeping, training for the zoning board for the Association of Towns at 2,000. And we're putting for the planning board, 1,600 in for their training for the Association of Towns.
Correct,
Okay, so there's no change in the zoning board, but the planning board, we're adding 1,600.
correct, going from 400 to 2,000.
Right.
Mhm.
Then on page 34, these are revenues. We're gonna add a line for the electric car,
Mhm.
$7,500
Mhm.
that we'll get as a rebate for the one that we're buying. The next one. we're
Were
buying.
you adding that on the bottom?
Amber's got to put a number in for it now, a
Mhm.
line number.
Yeah, so it is in the bottom and it'll be, I don't, Shelby will get that number.
Okay, next is page 37, snow. And based on what we've been doing and based on Brian's policy of trying to use the recycled road sweepings, we're going to take a chance and drop it, the sand, salt, et cetera, from 45,000 to 40,000. And pray we don't have a bad winter.
Yep.
Page 37, it's $5,000 drop.
Yeah, yeah. yeah. Way this weather's going here.
Yeah. We'll say that's a kiss of death. I mean, that's all I have, dude. We want to go over the
The capital.
capital improvement
Mhm.
page.
Yes. So as a preface to that, I looked at what the accountants had pulled together for our waterways fund balance to know what we were doing with respect to that, whether or not we can afford to pull everything that we want to pull from there. And we started 2021 with a fund balance of roughly $169,000. We pulled out in the 2021 budget, 100,000 for Grace's Lane, 10,000 for the Bay Constable. We've added mooring revenues of 31,000, boat storage rack fees of 14,000, and then our budgeted expenses that covers, the work that the clerk's office uses, the cost of the boat racks and things like that. That was another like $35,000. So we will be ending 2021 with a fund balance in waterways of $69,000 roughly. We'll add the 22,000 in mooring fees, the 14,000 in boat storage fees, which gives us $105,000 in 2022 to be used. our projects, when we had everything added in, the things that you were pulling out of
Mhm.
Public Works, the usual things that we have budgeted for, waterways management, boat storage rack fees, or, construction, things like that, was too much.
Mhm.
So we're not going to be able to pull since it's a big and one-time, easy to see item, we're not going to pull out the Congdon Creek dock repair out of the waterways money. It's going to have to come out of tax revenues. So let me just share.
That's a 68,000.
Mhm.
Just to be clear, I think that must cover more than just the bulkhead itself. It must cover
Well, we're taking out the old ramp there.
taking out the old ramp, and I thought
Part of it has to do with the road.
the
Yeah.
fixing up of the road. Yeah. Removal of the ramp.
Easier to see.
And-
So so in order to, keep the budget on track, one of the things that we had discussed yesterday was the loader and paying for the loader, 2/3 this year, 1/3 next year, or when Brian had come in, the financing that was available from the company was $46,000 a year. So if we decide to go with the recommended financing of $46,000 a year, we took that loader fee down and then used the extra, money that just was freed up. If we want to kind of keep the capital projects budget pull
Mhm.
from tax revenues roughly the same, the 68,000 comes out of there.
Well, I think two things. One is the loader, the 46,000 was going along pretty much Jay's original proposal, how we continue doing payments. Amber and I had thought originally, well, we can get the loader, in 2 years with bigger payments, maybe we're better off. But, after going through the waterways management numbers, we thought it important that we keep like a $25,000 buffer in there when we're done. And the other thing we discussed was, these are major one-time projects we're using this money for. We did Grace's Lane last year. We budgeted for Congdon Creek last year. We took the money and we used it for Dawn Lane. So these are all, projects, they're one-time projects. So it's not like we're going to be looking for hundreds of thousands every year from waterways management for these projects. I think after the Congdon Creek, after the big ones are done, we'll be looking more to use it for water-related,
Mhm.
uses as opposed to, these big projects. Okay. So what does that bring us to, Amber, if we do that?
So then we've got budget pulls so our total capital expenditures went down just a little bit, but what we're pulling from public, tax revenues keeps it sort of on par. So going back over to our cover sheet, I've lowered, so our appropriations went down just a little bit, and our pull from waterways went down. And we're not putting 100, like we took away 120,000, replaced it with 68 and 40,000. So a little bit of savings. So it's got our current budget number down to 3.9%.
Mhm. And we didn't drop anything. We're still doing everything that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. I think that was the last piece.
I think it was. Let me
of
just look.
the budget puzzle.
Okay. Can you put up just the cover pages? So
Mhm.
everybody can see?
Yeah. And yesterday, yes, I should be able to. Where's that button?
Okay.
So this is my sheet that I've been tracking, so I kind of like on the fly put things in. Shelby has a cleaned up one. So hers will have a slightly different number because we'll be pulling from waterways. But the expenditures, so mine's a little bit off, but
The
bottom
bottom
line
line's the same.
is she and I both agreed
Right.
on the 3.9%. So independently, we checked each other.
Okay. What you got, Jim?
No, I'm just looking at.
Todd, you got anything for us?
Pardon?
Any questions or?
No,
I guess, I mean, I'm happy to proceed with this. If we have any other tweaks, we have the budget public hearing is set, correct? Or we have to set that?
no, you haven't said it yet.
Okay,
Okay,
so we should do that.
When you finish doing this, you can set it.
Yeah, so on Friday, I guess we can set that for November.
Third.
is it? Yeah, the day after.
we have a meeting next Friday,
Mhm.
so we'll
Mhm.
set it then.
No, when you finish,
Oh,
yes,
okay, I
that's
got
in
you.
the resolution.
Okay.
Yeah.
mhm, Okay. Good calendar.
Yeah, so we set the public hearing today.
Yes,
Oh, okay,
Sure.
okay, I forgot the process. Okay,
Yeah.
good. All right, so then, yeah, we would set it for November 3rd,
at 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. That would be the town's budget hearing. And then it has to be adopted by,
November 20th.
okay, I was gonna say like within 2 weeks or something like that. Okay,
The same every year.
okay.
Yeah.
And we
Okay.
have a town board meeting on November 12th. So, we have like the one open item, getting the information from Barbara.
Right,
We'll get public input and then we can then consider those and make any changes before we do
Okay.
final adoption.
okay, so we'll
Yeah,
set the
you
public
could,
hearing.
you could adopt it before that,
Right.
of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
okay,
But yeah, so I think,
okay,
we should
We'll set
adopt
the
this
hearing for
preliminarily.
November
Right.
3rd.
Right.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. And again, I just want to publicly thank Amber and Shelby for, all the work we put into it and got it down as best we could. And not only that, we reorganized it somewhat to see, where money's, rather than, well, this is from there, this is from there, really where they should be.
Cutting down on budget
Budget-wise.
transfers.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. And making it a little bit easier to see, where the money's, used for and where it comes from.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah, and just a sort of a PSA, the Shelter on Fire District budget hearing, the public hearing is on Tuesday, October 19th at 6:30 PM.
Okay.
It's posted on the signboard, it's in the paper,
Mhm.
but just putting it out there so that
right,
it's another component of, the town budget, the
yeah,
townwide.
process. Yep. Okay,
Yeah, my only comment is that now that we have moving towards a capital plan, we're much better as a town to be able to predict how we can take all
Yeah.
our assets and maintain them either by repairing or replacing. So I just want the people and the taxpayers to know and the town to know that this is important. I think in the last, particularly in the last several years, we've hit some big items. A lot of marine assets that were somewhat neglected or never funded. I think we knew that they were in bad shape, but we just didn't address them. Pretty much like roads, from maybe 8 or 10 years ago, where roads were starting to deteriorate. We went on a massive campaign, got a lot of funding outside, grant monies made available from Fred Thiel and Laval, and we're able to do in CHIPS money and a small amount from the operational budget. We're able to do an awful lot of paving. Now we're looking at raising roads. We're working very hard at trying to raise the plazas. We've identified all the roads that need to be raised. Hopefully, we're going to pick one off in the fall here. That remains to be seen. Is a little bit dependent on the old money that was still up in Albany that's still dedicated to us, back from Mark Ketchum days. So I'm pretty satisfied with the fact that the capital planning thing is moving forward very nicely, and we're able to intelligently now forecast exactly what needs to be replaced,
Right.
when it needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Rather than wait for a catastrophe, to happen.
yeah, I don't think we can, overemphasize that enough. I think it's very important. Amber got this, the 3-year plan in place. So we have actual numbers. And to go one step further, I want to thank Jay Card because he kind of initiated it with his highway department, getting his capital plan in place.
Yeah.
We just,
And that was huge, that involved not just a grinder, but the payloader, the
Mhm.
excavator thing.
and a plan for the truck,
And a
everything.
plan for the
Yeah.
trucks and
Mhm.
how do we replace
Right.
those trucks that were aging? And as
Yeah.
Brian was talking and starting to mention ages of trucks to the early 2000s to the 1990s or before, you take a look at trucks with, 150,000, 180,000 miles on them, is that they don't make the parts anymore.
Right. Mhm.
You can only
Yeah.
push that envelope so
Yeah.
far before you have.
And
to
and on
replace
Shelter
them.
Island, it's really not the mileage, it's the use,
Right.
because we don't put huge mileage on, but, he's got trucks that are, 30 plus years old.
Yeah.
You know,
And what we're purchasing, what we traded in those 3 trucks when we got $45,000, I think, in that trade in,
Mhm.
$15,000 a piece, I think they were. So they had some value to us,
mhm,
before they completely
Right.
were shot.
Yeah.
So that was an important step. But we're getting a better product that's a little bit more, especially for our trucks that go through salt water and things like that, that are going to hold up better for longer periods of time. And we're pulling proper maintenance on it, particularly the grinder. When you have a $710,000 piece of equipment, you have to pull almost daily maintenance on it, so when we use it, Brett does a great job up there, stepping up to the plate, and he treats that machine as if it's his own
Right.
private machine. Does a great job on that. New trucks that we've gotten have been a blessing. So the operation is moving along. I think once we get when people, hopefully in a couple of months, when you pull into the recycling center and you see the roof over the recycling equipment, and then eventually, once we are able to get, some solar panels up on top, it truly starts to resemble a recycling center from start to finish.
Right.
It sends the right message to the
Right.
community, plus the fact it improves the overall safety and visibility, the
Right.
view of the recycling center. So I think,
Okay,
we're doing a good
so
job.
do we need a motion to set the hearing?
Here it
Oh,
is.
Dottie has it.
She got the
Jim, you can read
resolution.
that.
Sure. Whereas a tentative budget for the fiscal year 2022 has been proposed by the several departments, audited, adjusted, and consolidated. And whereas the town board believes this tentative budget as amended represents the requirements for the fiscal year 2022, now therefore be it resolved that is hereby adopted as the preliminary budget for the ensuing year, that the town clerk is hereby authorized and directed to proceed with the necessary advertisements according to the law. And be it further resolved that the town clerk shall give notice pursuant to Article 108 of the town law of a public hearing to be held on a preliminary budget in Shelter Island Town Hall, Shelter Island, New York, on the 3rd day of November, 2021 at 1 p.m. prevailing time, for all interested persons to be heard in favor of or in opposition to the preliminary budget as compiled, or for or against any item or items therein contained. So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks, Todd.
Thank you, Doug.
Good thing you all voted yes.
Yeah, really. Okay,
Just an explanation. Albert has some issues that could be here today. So a couple of medical things that he's working on. So that's the reason he's not here today.
okay. So I'll make a motion, we adjourn
Close.
close the meeting.
So move.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Have a very nice weekend, everybody.
Okay, that was pretty painless.